Hi, my name is Silantro, and this is going to be another episode of Xiaoyu Q&A where I look at your comments and see if there are questions in there, and if I can't answer it through text, I'll make a video out of it. Also, in the first video, I forgot to mention or shout out the commenter that asked the question. It's Manpreet Bergie 8573. So thank you for that question, and I hope that video really helped you. Okay. Now we are going to be reading a question from Combatant 1. Hi, thanks for these videos you've been putting out. They've definitely helped me in my journey in trying to get better at playing Xiaoyu. Thank you, and you're welcome. But my question might be dumb, but do you suggest using her parry in her hypnotist stance? Obviously not rely on it or anything. I just feel like whenever I do it, I always get hit before she can get another move out. I feel like I can sometimes get her 2 button off in time, but outside of that, not much. Also, I'm aware I could just have terrible reactions. If that's the case, I'll work on that, but I'd appreciate your thoughts on this. Thanks again. Okay, this one is kind of plenty, so I'll put out a sticky note or a notepad just so we can list your notes or questions, okay? Okay, now here's my notepad, and we will be listing what you asked first, okay? Now, number one is, do I suggest using her hypnotist parry? Number two, this is not a question, but I'll still make it as a question. So, should you rely on it? Number three, why do I get hit before I can get another move out? Okay, so I think that's it. Now, these are your main points, and we will be working on those. So, here's my game. Xiaoyu and Emily are waiting to fight. Okay, so number one, do I suggest using her hypnotist parry? Now, I'm gonna be calling it hip parry for this video. To answer your question first, do I suggest using her hip parry? Yes and no. Okay, but I'll explain why. Now, for those of you who don't know, Tekken 8 added a parry to her hypnotist in Tekken 8. Back in Tekken 7, it didn't have the parry. Now, with the parry, you can't parry kicks, but you can parry moves involving punches. Not just jabs involving punches, as in 1 and 2, 1 plus 2, square and triangle, whatever you want to call it. Now, just to show you how the parry looks like, I'll be showing you a jab and then something that Xiaoyu can parry that is not a jab, okay? Now, this is a jab parry. Okay, so whatever you parry, it's always +9. Take note of that. Now, I'll be showing you a move that is not a jab, but can be parried by her hip parry. See? It doesn't just parry jabs. Now, with my yes and no answer, no, don't use the hip parry if you are not going to use it with intention. Yes, you can use the parry, but you need to do some labbing. Okay? Now, let's lean on with the no first. If I tell you that, yes, use your parry, use the hip parry whenever you want, wherever you want, you'll just go in your games and then you'll just say, oh, hello, I'll use the parry. I'll parry it. It's fine. They will jab. But no, the hip parry requires strict timing for the parry. I recorded Lily again with a jab, and let's leave hip parry alone, okay? It hit. Let's try to parry it on time. See? But unless you're a god, you can't react to that, right? You can predict it. You can't input UB1 plus 2 in an instant, okay? Unless you predict it. But if you are going to use it with intention, here's how I suggest you use it. Okay, so I recorded 2 Lily moves, and it's 3-1 and 3-2. And this is how they look like. Now let's use the hip parry with intention. Now, if you block the first hit, there are only 3 situations that will happen. Lily will be back turned. She will be continuing the move with 1, or she will be continuing the move with 2. With back turned, you can react to that. If you feel that she will be inputting one of those moves, 3-1 or 3-2, then use your hip parry to kind of option select. Right? So I'll show you what I mean. See what I mean? Now, whatever she does, you can hip parry it because you know that both of those moves, 3-1 and 3-2, can be parried with the hip parry, right? Now, this one requires a little bit more labbing. So I actually made a parry guide for Reina back then, but I realized that it takes so long to edit, to play, and to actually list the moves, record the moves. So I decided to stop doing it because it slows down my channel. I'd rather have more videos, even if they are just small things like this, than me trying to put out those big videos and it's December and I still have like, I don't know, 40 videos or something like that. You can actually watch the video, it's in the card above if you still want to. Back to the hip parry. Again, if you want to use it with intention. Lab some strings and see where you can actually use the hip parry. Now, your next question is, should you rely on it? So now I actually answered it with number 1. So I won't be dealing with that anymore. So number 3, why do I get hit before I get another move out? Okay, this one is kind of easy. Now the hip stance has a delay. She does this wiggly woo, and then when you input a move, she will animate into a move. But there are certain instances wherein the move comes out a second later than usual. Now I'll show you what I mean. This one is an instant hip 3. But if I wait a little bit, I'll tell you when I click, okay? Click. It's that delayed, right? So what I suggest you doing, I think it's a word of the day, use the hypnotist stance or hypnotist moves with intention. What do I mean by that? Now, there are 3 variations of the hypnotist moves, right? The 1-step, 2-step, and 3-step. Use the 1-step moves instantly. Like, don't wait on it. If you're gonna do hip 3, don't think that, okay, I'm going to be doing a 2-step hip 3 because it will sweep the enemy. If your enemy is good, they can react with a launcher, even with a kick, and you can't even parry it because it's not a punch, right? But if you're gonna use it in an instant, then you can actually have a long range low poke with hip 3. This one won't hit in this distance. This one doesn't. This one doesn't as well. This one doesn't. But hip 3 can. See how far that is? Let's try the other one. See? Now, I use that in an instant. Now, if you want to 50-50 your opponent, then you can actually condition them to do just this in this distance. And then whenever you try to do this, they will duck. And then, if you're lucky, in this distance, you can actually hit engage with Hypnotist 2. Now, knowing what is your intent with all of your moves will make you a better player. Now, let's try the 2-step hip 3 with intent. And that is through setups. So I'll be doing a combo. Lily is set at side ukemi left. And then we will sweep her with the 2-step hip 3. See what I mean? You did that because you intended to do that. You're not just mashing like this and giving your enemy the chance to actually launch you. Now that is the benefit of your heat, which gives you a 2-step startup with your Hypnotist. If Xiaoyu is in heat, then I use the same combo, it will be a launcher. See? While you are in heat and you have the 2-step buff, this one This poke will become a sweep. See what I mean? So I hope that helps you and I answered all of your questions. Now, for those of you who have Xiaoyu related questions, I'll leave it in the comments and then I'll try to schedule it. I'll be trying to answer as much as possible because I know that these videos help you guys for a combatant one. And for those of you who watched the video, I hope this helps you in your future fights. So have fun playing Tekken, guys. Bye!